Hey friends, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to be building a responsive website in Google Sites for free. If you've been wondering how do you set up your website for as little cost as possible, but get your business idea out there, get your portfolio, this is really important for your business, and I'll be walking you through how to do this in Google Sites today in just a few minutes. It should be pretty quick. We are also going to be covering the different pages that you might put on your website. I have a whole video about that. I actually have a whole tutorial on what to think about when you're trying to figure out what to design for your first website or your business website. Lots of tips for how to make your small business website better. That's one of my recent live streams, and I'm doing it again live next week actually. So if you're interested in joining for that, asking your questions live, please go ahead and like and subscribe. What we're going to cover today includes how to set up and customize a Google site, adding pages, images, text, tips for how to make your site look professional and discoverable in search, and we're going to look at how the site looks on mobile and tablet sizes as well as desktop. Now this can be really important if lots of people view a site on mobile these days. Think about the last time you went to a website. Was it on your phone? Probably, right? And if the website is unreadable on the phone, that cuts out a huge percentage of your potential audience. So luckily, Google Sites makes it straightforward, but we're going to show you exactly what to check for. And I'll talk a little bit about whether Google Sites is a good fit for you. It may not be something that you've necessarily heard of before, but I'll just cover the features and also the limitations. All right, let's get started. I have a Google site here. This is the page that you see when you first click into Google Sites and create new site. It's kind of like Google Docs or Google Drive if you've used any of those services before. And basically it's just a blank page. We haven't entered any content yet. You'll be able to click into the different text on the page and add your own text here. You can also add background images. And then over on the right here, there's the ability to add other things like text, images, embedded things. And then there's these styled content blocks as well. So we'll walk through all of this. We're going to have an example. We're going to have a bit of a silly example today because I couldn't think of a good, fake business owner. I'm going to say, all right, we're doing a website for this cat here, this cat on the right. This is not my cat, obviously. This is Pexels, a photo site where you can use these images for free, even for commercial use. So we're gonna go ahead and download this photo of the cat. This will be our, profile picture on this site. And I'll show, we want to put a little section below this header. So I'm going to click on this content block here on the right. I'm going to click and I'm going to drag it into the site here. Okay, now we have another section. I'm going to add that cat picture here. We're going to upload it. It's loading. All right, here we go. So now we have this very regal orange cat photo here, and I'm going to click on these edges of the photo, these little blue things. I'm just going to drag this so that a little more of the photo shows. And all of these sections, you can drag them to be a little bigger or a little smaller. If we want the text to be smaller and the photo to be bigger, we can just drag the edges so that it kind of looks like that. Google Sites is a little limited in what you can do in terms of layout. So see how it's snapping to these different lines on the page? You can't make it pixel perfect, but maybe you don't need to. as I change this text, the other text changes with it. So everything kind of lines up in particular ways. And I just want to show you that right away because that's one of the main limitations of Google Sites. If this was instead a Squarespace website or a WordPress website, you'd be able to tweak everything very specifically. Getting an error that YouTube is not working here, so I'm gonna just click into open the studio and check out what's going on. It looks like it's not receiving enough video. Okay. Viewers may be experiencing buffering. I apologize. You know what? This is the internet at my house. It's not working so well. So please bear with me. I can't call Verizon at the same time that I'm that I'm doing a live stream. Okay, that's all right. Hopefully this is getting through okay. So for this Google site, we're going to set up a little bit of a business page for the business run by this cat. Now, what kind of a business would an orange cat have? Well, this cat would sell cat toys. So we can say this is Casey the orange cat. Okay, so we can just type in there and add the text, and we can say purveyor of fine cat toys. Okay, so it's that easy just to enter in text and everything into the page. We can also add the title here. The page title could be something like looking for fun cat toys. Okay. And we can add the site name. So this is a silly example, but you can imagine that if you're a writer, for example, this might be your full name over here, the name of the site, and it might say a short sentence about what you write about here, and then it could go into a little introduction of who you are in the next section. If you're a business owner, you can describe your business, for example. So this is very flexible, and you can put in whatever text you want, whatever images you want. Let's put in another image. Let's add something to the background of this header section. So I'll go back to Pexels. I like Pexels. I also like Unsplash. Those are both good sites. Let's see if we can get a photo of cat toys. So this is bringing up some photos. That's really cute. Let's get this one. We'll download it. And then I'm going to go back to the Google site, and in this image drop down, I'm going to select upload. I'll grab the picture that we just downloaded, and it's uploading, and it's actually adjusting it for readability, and you can remove the readability adjustment. What that means is it just kind of put an overlay over the image. It's a little bit lighter here than it was on Pexels, and it's made the text dark so that there's a big contrast between the photo and the text. I usually think this is a good thing. It always helps to select a background image or color that contrasts well. So actually this photo, while it's fun with the cats, it might be better to find a background image that's more uniform in color so that the text shows up well. One thing I want to share here is if you're thinking about search engine optimization or SEO, basically the core of that is making sure what people are searching for is present in the phrases that you put on your website. So in this example, if someone is searching for cat toys or buying cat toys, that's good that we have the phrase cat toys here, or even fun cat toys. Maybe that's a search phrase. If our cat here, Casey, is a celebrity or an influencer, having Casey's name here, that could also be a search term. We want to find, if someone wants to type in and find Casey's website. It can be an art to find the right search terms, and search terms can be changing, but you can start by just typing into Google, literally typing in what you would search to find your own product, whether it's writing, whether it's a service, whether it's a nonprofit mission that you do. Make sure that your website contains some of those phrases of commonly searched things related to whatever your business might be. And it's as simple as that. I know that there's AI summaries at the top of search results now. Those are still prompted by search keywords in websites. So it's not a bad thing to put a search keyword in a website, even though the landscape of search is evolving based on AI. So we've set up a pretty good website section to start out with. Let's go ahead and add some more stuff to our website. The next thing we should add is a second page. So there's a number of different pages that are good to have on a website, including the About page, testimonials or social proof, maybe a portfolio, maybe a shop page, maybe a blog page. I just want to comment that Google Sites is not good for blogs, because think about how we add text here. If I want to add text to create a blog post, I'm going to add a text box and then say my blog post here. You might think, oh yeah, that seems straightforward, but it doesn't include a lot of formatting options. If you have multiple paragraphs, like text here, text here, text here, and then you're like, wait, I want to put an image in the center here. You'd have to like copy paste out the first part, and there's no good tools to really edit inline text and images. And I realize my video is over the part where I added the text. There we go. So we got this text block here where we have text, and it's hard to split up and add a video in the center there, or an image. So generally it's not good for blogging. So if I want to remove this whole section here, I can go over to the left, and there's options for section colors, duplicate section, and delete section. So I'm actually going to go ahead and delete this section because I don't want this to be a blog post. This is the home page of my site. I do want another section though, so I'm going to click the duplicate section to the left of this one. Okay, now we have two of them. Great. It can make it look a little uniform to have everything be the same color. So I'm actually going to click into section colors here. And there's a style 2. I'll make it a third section just to show you. There's actually a style 3. Okay. Using a variety of these different sections can create some color contrast on the site. And actually, you can change the theme colors, and I'll show you how to do that now. So if we go over to the right and click on themes, you'll see we're using this simple theme right now. You can change the color here. There, it's sort of pink themed. I clicked on the pink. There's a teal. That looks quite nice with the cat, but let's try purple. It also looks very good. And you can also change the font style if you want. Okay. If you want more customization options than this, and most people do, perhaps they have a particular color, like this cat's color is very orange. Maybe the site should be orange as well. So let's click on this custom create theme. And the theme will be called cat. Alright, we can do a preset colors or we can do custom colors. We're going to do custom colors because the whole point is that we want it to be the same color as this cat. So I'm using Firefox, and I'm going to use the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to select a light orange color from this cat. Okay, I'm going to copy paste that light orange into here. It's sort of a mustard yellow. Alright, now we need 2 other colors. We're gonna choose a light color. When you're choosing a color scheme, it's usually really helpful to pick some colors that have a wide range from light to dark. So this next one that I'm gonna pick is gonna be maybe a brighter orange or like a darker orange color. Let's try that one. Alright, then we're going to click next. Here's where you can select the fonts. I've been liking this IBM Plex Sans lately. I'm going to do a bold for the heading, and I'm going to set that for the body text as well. Okay, I'm going to create theme. Now you'll see that it not only changed the font on the site, it also changed the colors. So now everything is kind of these cat colors, which is very nice for this site, which is owned by a cat. We'll go ahead and add some more images here. So I can go back and I can click out of the theme, go back to the insert. Let's get another cat toy image if we can. Yeah, this one's cute. It's a cat and a toy and a laptop. That's great for e-commerce, right? Let's put this one on next. So I clicked on this picture and it's got some options here. Crop, insert link, duplicate, remove, but I'm actually going to click on the 3 dots, more options, go into replace image, and I'm going to upload. And here's the picture that we just downloaded. Okay, and we're going to give this some other heading, like buy fun cat toys. And change this, yay. So I'm just clicking into it and changing the text like you would in any sort of word processor. Since this, I can also change the size of the text here, make it a little smaller maybe, and make the picture a little bigger. So you can change the layout of this a little bit. You can also move this image over to that side. That's another option. And since this is a call to action over here, I'm actually going to add a button so that you can click into something. That's in the right menu over here. The 4th one down is a button. So I'm going to add the button. I'm going to call it check out our shop. And I don't really have a link, so I'm just going to use example.com. Okay. Alright. Looks like Google put our button in the middle of the 2 sections, which is not exactly what I wanted. I wanted it in this section. So I'm going to click on the center of the button, and you can't see where the button is on my screen. There we go. So the button is in the center of these two sections, and I'm actually going to click in the center of it and drag it. Woo. I'm going to drag it over to here. So now it's in this Buy Fun Cat Toys section, and there's a checkout or shop button. So if you go into the theme, you can customize the color of the buttons. You can also change the section theme here. So maybe this looks a little bit not so exciting for cat toys. Maybe we want it to be the dark color. That's okay. If I was making this site for real, I would probably go in and tweak the theme colors at this point. I don't love the button colors that it chose for us, but it's okay. I think this actually looks pretty reasonable. I also want to show you how to add a footer on the site. The footer is usually pretty important for, usually at the bottom we have something like, let me just move my video. There we go. All right, now you can see at the bottom of the site, usually we have a copyright notice, copyright Casey the cat, 2025, and then often we have a privacy policy and maybe a terms of service. So I've added these pieces of text in here. I'm going to center them in the footer by clicking this align, going to center. Then to link to the privacy policy, I'm going to select the text, click the link button, and then that link goes there. And this is usually a page on your website that contains your privacy policy text. All right, we have a footer. That often makes the site look a little more professional. A lot of the time you have contact info in the footer as well. And how do we do that? Well, we add a text box, for example. Let's add a text box, and I don't want it to be small text. I want it to be normal text. Okay, and I want it to say, call us today at 555-5555. Okay, this is good for brick and mortar businesses that have a shop. You might want to have your phone number listed on the page. Now this is below the little copyright thing, so I'm actually going to grab this section on the side. These little dots mean you can drag it. I'm going to drag this section below the phone number. Maybe I want, in addition to a phone number, an address. So let's duplicate this text, and I'll say visit us in New York City. And you might put the address of your store, for example. I want these texts to be side to side. Let's see if we can do that. I'm going to make this one smaller, and I'm going to make this one also smaller, and then I'm going to drag this text there. So now we have two texts side by side. We could add a third one if we had an email address, for example. That would probably be pretty good. So this is the footer section that we've been editing, and this is on every page of the site. If you want the footer to be a different color, you can click in the section colors and, for example, change the color. It's highlighting the footer because that's what we're working on right now, but if you click outside, you'll go back to just editing the page. Next, we want to add another page to our site. Let's click on Pages. Oh, before we continue, I should say that all the changes are saved in Drive up here, and it auto-saves every time you make a change. So that means that you don't have to click a save button or anything. If you come back to this later, if you close the tab and come back, all these changes will be saved. So that makes it pretty safe to work on. If you make a change that's a mistake, for example, right? Oops, a mistake, I typed the wrong thing. You can go to this undo button on top here, undo last action, and it will undo for you. Okay. You can also redo last action in case you want to undo the undo. All right. And you can see it's saving up there every time I make a change. So if it says all changes saved in Drive, it's saved for you. I want to show you how to add another page next. We've been working in the Insert tab of this most of the time. We've also gone into themes, we've made our custom theme, and we're going to go to the third one, Pages. So I'm going to add a new page, and this new page is going to be testimonials. Social proof is really important for any page, that for any site, just sharing that people like your product and they like who you are and that you're a good person, because you are a good person. I know you are. We just need to show that on your website. So we have this testimonials page, and you'll see that the header copied over. We have the name of the site, and the title of this page is here. You can change that if you want. And it's also added a menu in the top corner. So this is good because that allows people to click back and forth between home and testimonials. You can add a different image in this header. If you want a different image on the second page, you just click into the image tab and you can upload a new image. You can also change the header type. This is the most commonly used one. You can also make the banner a little bit larger, or if you don't want a picture, you can do title only. I happen to like this banner look. I think it's fairly nice. So then if we want to insert a testimonial, you would insert a text box. We can say something like, best cat toys ever, satisfied customer. Okay, so there aren't a lot of very fancy formatting things here. If you want a testimonial that, has a nice pretty background and a border and the little quote marks and stuff like that, I would recommend, if you're doing this in Google Sites, I guess put it in an image. You might want to put alt text on the image. It's not ideal, but I also think that just listing things in terms of text is a really clear way of putting them on the page. So that can be good too. If you want the font to be a little bigger, we can do that. Let's put a line break here. Make this really readable by increasing the text size. All right, beautiful. It's a little bit garish, but it definitely gets the message across. Let's center this text as well. Center this. And maybe 48 is a little bit big for a font size. Let's take it down one notch. All right, perfect. Okay. So then you might be wondering, okay, so we've got these pages on this site, in this edit page, in this weird Google Sites thing. How do I get my site actually on the internet? Well, you can go ahead and click publish. So what that's going to do is it's going to create a link to your site that you can access in your browser. It's going to publish the site at KC Cat Toys, and it's going to have a sites.google.com kind of URL. So you can buy a custom URL, a domain name, So if you bought, for example, caseycattoys.com, there is a way to attach that custom URL to this website. We're not going to do that today in this tutorial, but you will have a sites.google.com URL for your site. And it'll say, who can view my site? Well, anyone at Raycats. Let's manage that, because maybe we want this to be a public site. So restricted means only the editors, only my account. However, if we make it public, anyone on the internet can find and open. Okay. So we can also ask public search engines not to display my site. This is something that you usually do if you're developing a site. So since I'm developing the site and it's not a real site, just an example, we're going to say don't show me in search. You won't find that much helpful here. I'm going to click publish. And so now your site has been published successfully. We're going to go to preview. This opens a preview page. This is really useful because it will show you what it looks like in the browser. Within the preview, you can click to the different pages on your site. And then down in this corner, you can choose between phone, tablet, and large screen. Now, this is where we get into making a responsive website. The great thing about Google Sites is we don't have to do that much to make it responsive. But let's go ahead and click into the phone view. So this is what someone would see if they are viewing your site on a smartphone. So this top looks great. You know, the menu is kind of a smartphone menu. That happens automatically. And we see this nice header here. If I was making this site, I might think, well, I want them to be able to see more of this information. Maybe not this cat image as the first thing they see, but this is all right. We scroll down, we see this. The button will still work. Everything is resized and stacked in a column, which is really nice. We don't have to do anything special to make it look like this. Looks pretty good. We're going to look at it on a tablet. Now this is a little bit wider, but it still stacks the content vertically. This can be pretty good because you don't want that kind of awkward narrow columns on a tablet or a browser that's not quite wide enough. This is something that Squarespace does not do that well. They don't really optimize for tablet view, but you know, WordPress, a lot of themes have a mobile, tablet, and desktop view. I'm gonna click back to the desktop view. You may be tempted, especially since you're creating the site on a desktop, to only look at the desktop view. But keep in mind that so many people are going to be looking at your site on mobile that this is actually really important to look at. So unfortunately, there's not that many options to change in Google Sites. It does this automatically for us. So we don't have to be in there, you know, implementing little features like if the site is this wide, make it look like this, and if the site is this wide, make it look like this. You have to do that on WordPress pretty often. So we're, in a sense, starting from a responsive site, but we can't change it all that much. That's the general idea of Google Sites. It makes a pretty good site, but if you don't like it, there's not that many options to change it. Let's click the X to exit out of the preview. If you want to be able to see or share your site, you can click this copy publish site link, copy link, and then if you copy paste this into a browser, you'll see your site. So this site is live on the internet and you should be able to go to it if you so choose. All right, so this is most of what I wanted to cover. I also just wanted to give you a little overview of when should you use Google Sites and when should you use some other website platform. You should use Google Sites if you're looking for a free website. This is the main thing. Let me go back to just the video. I usually advise my clients to choose between WordPress, Squarespace, and Google Sites right now. Google Sites is really great for people who are working on a really limited budget or just starting out their business, or they're doing something like writing, which frankly doesn't pay a ton. I'm a writer, so I feel like I can say that. But yeah, so I would encourage people to use a tool that fits their needs. If you're not too picky about the layout, if you don't need it to look a particular way, Google Sites may be a really good option for you. It's also really easy to get things set up pretty quickly, right? We've only been working on this for, a few minutes relatively, and I was able to set up a site. Maybe a little silly with the cats and everything, but you could imagine that if you're, a writer with a certain topic, you can copy paste your bio and your photo and everything into this page and get that set up really quickly. And having something out there is better than having nothing out there, especially if you're looking to grow your online presence so that more people can find you and engage with your work. WordPress is good if you want to do a lot of blogging, if you want to customize your site so that it looks a particular way, perhaps if you're looking to get into e-commerce or selling things online. WordPress or Squarespace are good choices for this. The blogging in Squarespace is almost as good as WordPress. I would say that if you're looking to really SEO optimize your site, be discoverable in search, WordPress is the best platform for that because they have tools like Yoast SEO that will allow you to enter in, keywords and everything and just check out your blog post and make sure it's performing well. Squarespace also has some SEO features, like you can set the meta title, the description. Those are important too. But basically, if you are looking for a free site, the two main options are, in my mind, Google Sites and Carrd. Carrd is a one-page site that has particular limitations. You can't really, their free plan, you can't embed things, you can't have more than one page. It really is just a one-page site is the idea. You can kind of trick it into different pages, but I wouldn't bother with that. If you want multiple pages on your site, go with Google Sites. You can add a custom domain name with no additional charge other than the cost of the domain name, which you'd have to pay for anyway. And it also integrates with Google Analytics, which I believe the free version of Carrd does not. So if you're looking for a free site, I really recommend Google Sites. I think it's pretty good for that. There's a couple of other options. WordPress.com has a free plan, I think. There's Wix has a free plan. That'll show some branding of that platform. The one thing about Google Sites is it doesn't show Google all over the place. So it feels a little bit more unbranded, a little bit more your brand on your website, which I think is an advantage. So clearly I'm trying to, encourage you to use Google Sites if you want a free website. That can be great. I also think that Squarespace is a really good option if you're looking for a drag and drop setup. It's fairly similar to Google Sites. It's more flexible. You're able to move around the text, the images, the layout, and you will need to do a little more work to get it to be a responsive website. What we did here Google Sites is actually great for responsive design because it's all built in. You can't change what it does with the site very much, but you don't have to do anything extra to get it to show up on mobile in a reasonable way. And since so many people today view sites on mobile, this is a really important thing to do. Thanks so much for watching this demo. I'm glad you stuck with me. And let me know if you have any questions or what you think in the chat or in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe if you want more small business tips, more website tips, and like and subscribe to check out I'm doing a whole website class next week, and I'll be doing that again, so let me know if there's anything in particular you'd like me to touch on. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.